The wheels are in motion. This new year is already shaping up to be one of the best ever for term limits. It's only the beginning of the 2024 legislative season, and we're already active in 23 states. Stay tuned to find out if your state is on the list. Hi, I'm Holly Robichaud, and this is U.S. Term Limits Breaking News. We have breaking news in Nebraska. Our resolution for term limits on Congress was just introduced by Senator Lippincott. If you live in Nebraska and want to end the dysfunction in the United States House and Senate, go to termlimits.com/2024 Nebraska and take action. We've had enough of the do-nothing Congress, and this is your chance to do something. Spread the word by sharing this video everywhere you can and take action now. In 2023, resolutions were passed for a convention for proposing a congressional term limits amendment to the U.S. Constitution in the State House of Representatives in both North Carolina and Tennessee. With this opportunity, we expect success in both states and have the state senates pass these resolutions this year. This will put North Carolina and Tennessee in the growing roster of states calling for a convention for proposing a congressional term limits amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Louisiana is also shaping up to be a battleground state for congressional term limits. In the 2024 legislative session in Louisiana, 46% of House members and 39% of Senate members will be term limits pledge signers. And don't forget, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives and U.S. term limits supporter Mike Johnson hails from Louisiana. We are optimistic that North Carolina and Tennessee will join the roster of states calling for congressional term limits. In Tennessee, our state chair, Mayor Glenn Jacobs, whom many know as WWE's Kane, has been working with our Central Regional Director, Aaron Duquette, in getting the message out and talking to key legislators. State Senator Richard Biggs is our state Senate sponsor in Tennessee. He's the chair of the State and Local Government Committee, the committee that will vote on our resolution to advance it to the full state Senate. Hey, Georgia! Legislation calling for term limits on Congress was just filed in the Georgia House of Representatives by Representative Scott Hilton. This is your chance to bypass Congress and help impose term limits on the U.S. House and Senate. Please go to termlimits.com/2024 Georgia to sign on our online petition to get this passed in Georgia. Then please ask everyone you know to do the same. Share this video and share this link. Georgia can be the next state to vote to bypass Congress and call for term limits convention. Take action now before it's too late. In North Carolina, our state chair, Lee Brown, is working with our Southern Regional Field Director, Shannon Chambly, in getting out our message to the media and contacting key state senators to see that North Carolina moves forward with adopting our term limits resolution. In other states across the nation, term limits is on the march. Our goal is to see our term limits convention resolutions introduced in 23 states, including Alaska, Kansas, South Carolina, Indiana, and Delaware. This past week, we saw an additional 11 2024 state legislative candidates sign our pledge, and our numbers will continue to soar because of the ever-increasing popularity term limits has with voters. We also saw an additional 4 congressional candidates sign the U.S. term limits pledge. With record numbers of candidates signing our pledge for the 2024 election cycle, that number will continue to increase, and we will be, by Election Day, our highest number ever. And now it's time for an update on New Jersey Senator Goldbar Bob Menendez. He is currently facing additional federal allegations in a new indictment that supersedes his previous one. The new allegations accuse Menendez, who has pled not guilty to all prior counts, of making positive comments about Qatar in exchange for items of value that includes luxury wristwatches valued at $10,000 to $24,000, according to the new indictment. His trial is scheduled to begin May 6th of this year. When a politician makes a pledge, the ink that bears their signature is witness to their promise. It's not often that politicians break their term limits pledge, but we do have a few members in Congress who need to be held accountable for doing just that. This week, we want to let you know of the congressional members who signed the pledge to support our term limits resolution, but refused to co-sponsor House Joint Resolution 11 in the House. They are John James of Michigan, Lori Turhan of Massachusetts, Derek Van Orden of Wisconsin, Young Kim of California, Texas's Dan Crenshaw, and Utah's Burgess Owens. These representatives will be entered into our term limits Hall of Shame if they do not co-sponsor our bill soon. We hope that they'll change their minds and not break their promise for a second time. And now it's time for our first 2024 Corrupt Politician of the Week. California's Representative Ken Calvert makes our list. First elected to Congress in 1992, he's no friend of term limits. Business Insider labeled him as one of the most corrupt members of Congress. Why? Conflicts of interest and scandals. The article states in 2005, Representative Calvert and his real estate business and partner paid $550,000 for a 4-acre piece of land at Martin Street and Seton Ave in Paris, just 4 miles south of the March Air Reserve Base in California. It also mentioned that less than a year after buying that land, without making any improvements to the parcel, they sold the property for $985,000, a 79% increase. That's a deal. And guess who pushed and secured the funding for the development of that property? That's right, Representative Calvert. But that's not all. The article also articulates another deal in which a group of investors bought property a few blocks away from the site of the proposed interchange for $975,000. Within 6 months after money for that interchange was appropriated, the parcel of land sold for over $1 million. In fact, $1.45 million. And guess whose real estate firm received the commission for the sale of that property? If you guessed Representative Calvert's, you'd be right. It stopped being a coincidence when it becomes an established pattern. And despite all of this, guess what? He's running for a 16th term. Are you preparing for Term Limits Day on February 27th? I know I am. If you're involved in a local political party, why don't you have your group pass our county resolution? The term limits on Congress movement is stronger than ever. Many political party executive committees are on board and working to pass our resolution through their local county political affiliates. Get your group to support our winning issue. Pass our model term limits resolution at your next chapter meeting. You may find it at termlimits.com/county resolution or click on the link in the description below. It's already the beginning of 2024 and we've got scandals. We need congressional term limits more than ever before. We can make it a reality, but we need your help. Please go to termlimits.org and get involved today. And be sure to share this program with your friends and family every week. This is Holly Robichaud for U.S. Term Limits Breaking News. I'll see you next week.